Well, this is 2 games in a row now where Anthony Marshall has been the man for UNLV when they've needed. Every time Colorado State makes a big play, the fans are on their feet. Anthony Marshall says, give me the basketball. I'm going to go even this thing up. He has been terrific with the ball in his hands. And Pete Schroyer, assistant coach, talking to him, saying, you're the senior. Bring us home, big guy.
20 at San Diego State and has 14 here tonight, leading his team in scoring. Always looking to get to the cup. Now Greg Smith at the free throw line. Mentioned before how Smith, Larry Eustace, had a run-in prior to the season. And he just didn't like Eustace coming in, implementing his plan. Wasn't very coachable, but Eustace said that he's really come around. And Greg Smith has become more of a team player, more unselfish, and really buying into his system.
And when the light bulb went on, he's made tremendous strides. If you talk to the staff, they talk about, you know, the heads butting at the beginning, but if there's a player that's made the most improvement from the time Eustace came till now, it's Greg Smith. So what was difficult at first turned out to be really good for Colorado State.
And a 2-point Ram lead. Marshall driving down the lane. Once again, Anthony Marshall, aggressive and capitalizing.
And he's just so good at getting where he wants to on the floor. And even with help defense, Colorado State's having a very difficult time staying in front of Anthony Marshall.
10 of Marshall's 16 points coming here in the second half to get UNLV back in it. And we're tied at 52. Wes Eichmeyer with the ball, back in, playing with 4 fouls. Shot clock at 8. Green had it knocked out by Hawkins. It'll stay with the Rams, and now they have 6 to shoot.
And you watch Anthony Marshall, he's just got that mentality, and they can't stay in front of him. His first step is so explosive, and he's so strong, and here he is again.
And the foul by Dorian Green.
Anthony Marshall, the leader, the senior on this UNLV team. And the fans want it clean on top. The official, Bob Staffen, came behind and said, yeah, but he got him on top of the head. Wow, that was a bad miss. Marshall shooting 67% this season from the free throw line.
And now just 2 of 5 from the free throw line here today.
And he's got to be tired. He's taking this game on his shoulders. He did that Wednesday night at San Diego State. And that's when fatigue shows up, is from the free throw line.
And off of Colton Iverson, so the Rebels will get a possession here. Colton Iverson couldn't handle the rebound after the second free throw miss by Anthony Marshall. He's now 2 of 6 from the stripe. And he'll inbound the ball for the running Rebels. Good look to find Ken Birch, who tosses it up and draws the foul, which is going to be 2 free throws as he went to the deck.
And let's look. It looked like Iverson was vertical. Let's see if he slides. Just when you start moving a little bit, see him moving a little bit to his left, and he catches his hip on Ken Birch. Birch, a 69% free throw shooter, and Larry Eustace just beside himself, feeling like Iverson did everything you would ask him to do as a defender.
And the 2 free throws will extend the UNLV lead to 2. With just over 5 to go, both teams in the bonus the rest of the way. Dorian Green, open look for 3. Green had 11 points in the first half, just 5 in the second half. Also, Wes Eichmeyer, who's been in foul trouble, with only 2 points after coming off a 17-point performance to lead his team on Wednesday over Air Force. Green falling off in the second half. Eichmeyer not being very visible on the scoring sheet throughout the game. 2 big factors for the Rams. Shot clock down to 8. Marshall again. Driving in, but it's going to go the other way.
Boy, Dorian Green doing a really good job of giving ground. Watch him start to give ground, and you see that forearm from Anthony Marshall. He leans in and extends that forearm, and good position defense. It's been so hard for this Rams team to stay in front of Anthony Marshall, but that was stellar D that time by Green.
Eichmeyer tossing for Iverson, tipped away by Birch. Now Dorian Green draws the foul as he was driving to the basket. Dorian Green to the free throw line for the 1-and-1. Anthony Marshall, his third personal.
You mentioned how quiet the game has been for Wes Eichmeyer. And don't be surprised if he makes some shots down the stretch, because he is another confident player, and it's just never able to get into the rhythm of this ball game because of fouls and sitting on the bench. But he's not afraid to take a shot down the stretch if his team needs it. And he's a clutch shooter with a great stroke.
Dorian Green, the senior from Lawrence, Kansas. His father played football for the Jayhawks as UNLV takes a timeout with 4:23 to go. Well, it seems like they're all thrillers in the Mountain West. Let's take you back to Wednesday. The Runnin' Rebels at San Diego State. Anthony Bennett, huge dunk. UNLV had the lead at half by 6. And then Anthony Marshall, an all-around star for the Rebels. A season-high 20 points and 8 boards, 5 assists. Just the way he's been a huge factor for his team here today.
And on the road, when you go on the road in this league, and you have two games like Colorado State and San Diego State in the same week, two of the toughest places to play in the West. In your mind, you think, hey, if you can go get a split, you're still in a good position. So they did what they needed to at San Diego State. If they can get a win here, that'll be a bonus and put them a leg up on everyone else in the league. You'll get one to San Diego and you get one here at Fort Collins. You've accomplished something big.
Well, let's check out the RPI ranking for the Mountain West Conference. This is a benchmark by which to judge the strength of a conference overall. And the Mountain West, among all the other major conferences right now, 3rd in the country.
Yeah, they've gone back and forth with the Big East all season long at that 2 and 3 spot. And, I mean, look at the conferences behind the Mountain West. The ACC, the Big 12, the Pac-12 is as good as they've been in years. But this Mountain West Conference is extremely strong. And some teams this year that are surprises. Wyoming playing unbelievably well, especially at home. Boise State has really stepped it up a notch. And so the teams at the top that you expect, UNLV and San Diego State, and Colorado State and New Mexico, they're all there. But the depth of the conference is as good as it's ever been.
And Blaine, players are recognizing that. So many of these teams, UNLV, Colorado State, San Diego State, just look at their rosters and see how many transfers from some other prestigious basketball schools are coming out to the Mountain West.
They recognize they can play big-time basketball, and there's a pathway to the NBA from this league, just like the other premier leagues in the country. This is not a mid-major league any longer. This is a major league.
And you get to play in games like this. Bennett. He's been quiet in the second half, but he reestablishes the UNLV lead.
His number of shots is down a little bit. He's 4 of 8. He's got 9 points. 8 attempts is not a lot for him.
Eichmeyer.
That's what we're talking about. This is a guy that hasn't played much, but don't be surprised if he has an impact on the ball game down the stretch.
Marshall. And rattles home for 3.
And Marshall is shooting 40% from the three-point line. That's the best in his career. He's not been a great three-point shooter. Last season shot just 26% from out there, but he's been deadly this year.
Eichmeyer wire to wire, but blocked. Underneath, a huge block. Once again, Kem Birch with the stuff.
Anthony Bennett coming up with a big shot when he needed to for UNLV. He's 4 of 8 and has 9 points. The catch and shoot off the dribble. And Marshall has carried this team on his back. A great game. The Rebels lead at 59-56 in Moby Arena.
Everyone has goals. Take the steps to reach yours with us. With real advice for real goals, a U.S. Bank Wealth Management Advisor can help you every step of the way. From big steps, to little steps. Since 1863, we've helped guide our clients so they can take the steps to help grow, preserve, and pass along their wealth, so their footsteps can help the next generation find their own path. All of us serving you. U.S. Bank.
NBC Sports Network is your home for college basketball. San Diego State looks to settle the score against New Mexico as they battle for the top spot in the Mountain West. New Mexico at San Diego State next Saturday at 4 on the NBC Sports Network.
I will physically tear Uggs from the feet of men.
I'm going to help. I'm going to tell Tim Lincecum I loved him in Dazed and Confused.
So good. I'm going to lose my keys in James Harden's beard.
I'm going to find out why Eva Longoria and Evan Longoria are never in the same place at the same time.
Huh. And whenever I can, I will use the phrase butt fumble.
No, you won't.
No, think about it. Butt fumble.
It's awful.
It's really good.
The Crossover with Beadle and Briggs. Sports with a pop culture spin. Premieres Monday, January 28th on the NBC Sports Network.
On the road, number 12 Yale have been top dogs. At home, Cornell leaves guests seeing red. When these two meet, something's got to give. Friday Night Ice continues Friday at 7:30 on the NBC Sports Network.
Kenny Rice at Mohegan Sun, Connecticut for Fight Night action. It will be light heavyweight squaring off. Gabriel Capillo, former world champion on the right, taking on Sergey Kovalev. Capillo, only his third trip to the U.S. Kovalev trying his win streak. Let's go back to Steve in Mountain West basketball.
All right, thanks a lot, Kenny. We look forward to the boxing coming up. Here it's a three-point game. The visitors, 59-56 over the home team Rams. And Anthony Marshall, despite the Kem Birch block on the last play before the timeout, Marshall called for his fourth personal foul. Game's leading scorer. Now playing with 4. Bennett has 3. Quintrell Thomas also 3 for the running Rebels.
And Marshall has to be careful now. I mean, he has single-handedly brought his team back. The Rebels shot 28% in the first half. They're shooting 61 in the second. And it's been Anthony Marshall that's made the difference. They balanced that thing out to 42% now for the game. It's a miserable first half of shooting, but they hung in there.
Colton Iverson hitting the first free throw. Trying to pull the Rams to within 1. Crowd coming to their feet at the Moby Arena.
Now Marshall needs to be aggressive, but he's got to be careful not to lower that shoulder. There are 4 fouls. And Colorado State's going to extend that defense out further than they have.
Marshall for 3. Dorian Green. And he'll slow the tempo. Now decide to push it, falling away, and drawing the foul.
And Colorado State gets a chance to go for some early offense. You see, no question, Green able to draw the contact from Anthony Bennett. That'll be 4 now on Bennett. But that was set up by a very good defensive stand on the other end. Colorado State extending that defense, playing with energy.
One more.
And now a chance to give the Rams the lead with under 3 to play.
Dorian Green throughout his career has been a good free throw shooter, solid down the stretch, 74% this season. Those are 2 big ones.
And that's a season-high 20 points for Dorian Green. Peyton Reinhardt back in the game for UNLV. Bennett stripped from behind by Hornung. Iverson lost it. Underneath, Greg Smith comes away.
A smart play by Greg Smith to not to try to force something up underneath, but to bring it back out.
And Green is going to draw the foul in the open floor. Bryce Jones for UNLV. Now 2:17 to go. Colorado State leading by 1 and trying to extend a school record home court winning streak to 24 in a row. Currently the 4th longest in the nation.
One more.
Perfect from the free throw line so far today. He's the game high scorer now with 21.
Look at how much more aggressive this Colorado State defense has been in the last couple of times down the floor. They're extending the defense. They're playing more physical. They sense the importance of stops right now.
Marshall kicked it out. Way off the mark. And Dorian Green pulls it down.
Not a good shot that time by Jones. He didn't get a good handle on it on the pass and elected to shoot it anyhow. There's still plenty of time in that shot clock. Needed to regather himself, and if you're still open, shoot it or rotate the basketball.
3-point lead, Colorado State with the basketball. Westside player, not much of a factor today, and he is blocked as he goes to the rack.
That was ridiculous. Was that a block or a catch? That was ridiculous.
Ken Burch. And a timeout taken by UNLV.
How many times have we seen Ken Burch come up with a big block right at the rim? The guy is a ridiculous athlete. Watch this. I'll just take that. Thank you very much. Don't bring it in here with that light stuff, or I'll send it back. He just catches it. Eustace, I mean, he has so much energy on that bench, and Floring has got to get back and defend after the block.
And UNLV using their last timeout as this crowd comes to their feet. So, as we see some of the pertinent numbers, both teams talking it over. What's the play for each club, Blaine?
Well, Colorado State just needs to do what they've been doing defensively.